Hi guys, so I've got another video for you today. Just before I go on to today's trade, what I want to do is I want to just talk about yesterday's trade and just let you know where I had got out. So if you watch my yesterday video, you will see that I had taken this trade, and there are the buys that I've taken, and I'd shown that I'd taken position there, partials here, and it was still running before I cut off the video. Now you can see that there is the final close of this trade that I'd taken yesterday. So I didn't actually mention this yesterday, but if we take the bottom, because that was the longest trade away, and we had captured 53 pips, and we had captured 63 pips, and then the runner, I managed to capture 122 pips. So yesterday was a good day for me. Today I'm going to talk about my trade. I'm going to explain what I did, why, I'll try and talk through my trade, and we'll see what happened. So obviously you won't need me to tell you, but you can tell I actually got stopped out. And I lost a trade. Now today I purposely did not use my normal leverage. I used a very small lot size because today was NFP, and you can see there 8th of July, that is today's trading day. So just talking about the trade, we had New York today, market went down, came back up, we had 7 o'clock. Now when we started, now if I quickly jump into the 1 hour to show you something. Okay, so this move right here happened on the 5th of July. On the 6th and the 7th is what we did here, and you can see that in this move right here, I'll scroll down for you guys, in this move right here, we had two fair value gaps that had not been tested, and there was the low to give us the break of structure. Now if I go across and show you what I had seen, so jumping down onto the 3-minute chart, so there is the two 1 hour fair value gaps that I just shown that had not been tested. It had been tested on the 7th, and I did not think that we're still going to push through. Now the reason why, like I mentioned in the last video, this line I've still left it here is because that is the low prior to us moving up, and then we broke down. So I'm just keeping that on my chart so that I can have so I can see if we get some sort of reaction there. Now if I jump into the 3-minute chart, what we had was we had NFP right here. Market decided to wick down, go higher, come down, go higher. Now when we had this move right here, I assumed that because this was within my time frame 7 and 10, that we had reached the top. We were going to leave the previous top there, and what we were going to do was we were going to now attack the sell side, because we had been buying for almost half the day. So part of London, part of London and going into New York, and then also during New York it continued to rally. So when I got this breakdown, there was a 5-minute fair value gap, and I decided to enter here and here, and my stop loss was just above this high right here, because the move had started from here. So when the market came down on the 3 minute. The reason why I never got out of my trade was these two candles were respecting the fair value gap. So when we started pushing down, I thought that this was going to be now attacking the sell side. But as you can see, we climbed higher, and on this candle I got stopped out because my high had been taken. So if I take this just to give you an idea, we went from here to here, so around about 26 pips. I took a loss today. I only traded once, I didn't trade after this, and as you can see, we did do what I didn't think. Or have we? No, we haven't actually. I thought that, so I didn't think we were going to touch this, but it looks as if on Monday we're going to continue to go up and possibly even retest this fair value gap, because this one has now been closed. This one has been partially closed. I think they'll close this fully, go for the final fair value gap, and then drop. So now that I've got my trade out of the way, I'm just going to try and see where I think GBPJPY is going to go, and try and make a prediction through analysis on where I think next week what will happen to GBPJPY. So not only in analysis do I check where I want to enter, but the Japanese yen, I read a report to say that they were going to increase their interest rate. Now this whole buying that we got from GBPJPY, the huge buys that we got, was because the JPY interest rate, they were reluctant to change their interest rate and not help the market by increasing the interest rate. So now that they have increased it to just over 2%, from what I believe, I think now is going to be an indication for us to maybe go up, and then we're possibly going to fall down. Now if I take off my markings and go into the daily chart, so from 2021, even further actually, there's the crash that we had because of, everyone knows, and ever since we have been going up and trending up, all the way up. Actually, let's go on to the monthly, because you always go to the final one, the latest one. So there's one thing that I do want to point out on the monthly that possibly might go for the buy side. Not only have we created relative equal highs, but what we also have is we had this move right here. There is the break of structure. We've got a fair value gap here and a fair value gap here. They might try and go up for that, and I'm not entirely sure. But also to mention on the flip side, we've got relative equal lows in multiple of them up here. And with this break of structure pushing up, we've got a fair value gap here. We also have a fair value gap here. So if I take the low of this candle, nothing has actually moved lower than this low. So that is something that they could possibly try and target. Going into the weekly has got me confused in the sense that we've had this break of structure, tested this fair value gap right here, we've pushed up higher, we have potentially even made a higher high now, we had a fair value gap here. My only concern about this fair value gap is not only did we test it once, but we tested it 3 times in the week, which makes me think that I don't think that they're going to allow that many chances when they're doing that. But if I go into the daily, you'll see just like I mentioned previously, we got this breakdown, break of structure. We had a very small fair value gap between here and here. This retested it, and then we also had a fair value gap here, which they've also filled. When we've done the daily, we have got two relative equal highs here, but we also have now two relative equal lows here. So it would be interesting to see what GBPJPY wants to do next week. I've actually watched a couple of analysis for GBPJPY on YouTube, and everyone thinks that it's going to go up through their own analysis, through their own theories. They all believe it's going to go up. I'm under the opinion that I don't think so. I think they might go for this to try and trick everyone. I could be wrong. I'm not going to say that I will sell. I'll look at what the market does, but I don't think it's going to be a sell. I don't think it's going to be a buy, sorry. I think it's going to be a sell going forward. But that's what I think. You can see ever since we made this drop, we've been getting fair value gaps. We filled this in right to the T, dropped again. We're currently in this fair value gap, and we've got this little fair value gap here again, which is shown on my 1 hour, which I showed you. I think they might actually go for that and then continue to roll over, because we're consistently making lower highs and lower lows from here to here to here. So I think they're going to make another low and continue to take it the sell side. But yeah, that was my analysis. Like I said, I'm trying to be as transparent as I can, even show you when I lose, explain why I got in, but ultimately no strategy is 100%, so therefore I took a loss today, and only took one trade. So yeah, if you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe, comment and share, and we will hopefully have another video for you next week, and have a good weekend, and I'll speak to you on Monday.